What up, people? Chris here to do some Strikeforce Fedor versus Hendo afterthoughts. You know, not the most exciting and entertaining event. It's funny because I said in my predictions video for this event that now that Zupa was in control and we're getting more competitive matchups, the events might not be as exciting as previous Strikeforce events over the last couple of years, and that proved to be the case here for the majority. As far as the first three fights, streaks happening: Scott Smith, Paul Daly, Tyron Woodley, and Tim Kennedy, Robbie Lawler. I'm going to say sum them all up in one way. One fighter did a lot, while the other fighter did a whole lot of nothing. Tariq Safin fought. Scott Smith did little but nothing until the very end. Too little, too late. Paul Daly didn't let his hands go enough, and a good improved takedown defense, but didn't do enough to win the fight. I don't know why at the end he was holding his hand up like he had won the fight. Come on, son. Did I really just say come on, son? Man. Anyways, Tim Kennedy, Robbie Lawler, same here. Robbie Lawler did a whole lot of moving like Dominic Cruz, but not a whole lot of throwing like Dominic Cruz. So Kennedy gets the win there. Man, bad music coming on. Can't be listening to that stuff. Anyways, women's championship fight, Marlies Conan against Misha Tate. First couple of rounds were all right. Nothing too special. And then in the fourth round, Misha gets that arm triangle. Congrats to her. I'd say... I guess it's the big surprise is the fact that Misha Tate won by submission. That's probably something that hardly anyone, if anyone, did predict. So good win for Misha Tate, and now she gets that rematch with Sarah Kaufman. Main event: Fedor versus Hendo. Obviously, I picked Fedor going into this fight. I thought his size, and I just thought he was a better skilled fighter than Hendo. Early on, man, it started out fast. Both guys just throwing, but it did look like Hendo clipped and possibly buzzed or stunned Fedor with that left. Back to Fedor off real quick. Then, some clinch stuff into the fence. I did get kind of pissed at Fedor one time. He did grab the fence when Hendo was going for a takedown. I hate it when a fighter does that. I don't care who it is. Even if it's one of my favorite fighters, Fedor is not. But even if it was, I just get pissed when a fighter grabs the cage to prevent a takedown. But anyways, finally got separated. Got back going in the middle of the ring. Guys were throwing bombs. It looked like Fedor hurt Hendo or caught him. He goes down. Fedor jumps all over him, trying to finish him off. Unfortunately for him, Hendo regained his composure if he ever lost it. Swept him. Got on top and came underneath with a right hook. Beautiful punch. Rather than trying to go over, he landed underneath and dropped Fedor. Fedor went down, kind of face first in a way. Got hit 2 more times, and referee Herb Dean waved it off. Was it a quick finish? I guess it depends. If you're a Hendo fan, you probably say no. If you're a Fedor fan, you say yes. Looking at it objectively, I could see both ways. The way his head was placed when Herb Dean saw it, I could see how he could imagine that Fedor was out at the moment. And then a split second later, Fedor was able to get in guard, But as a ref, you're trying to protect the fighter. You're not really thinking about what's going to happen next. You're just going by what you see in the moment. So I can see why Herb Dean stopped the fight. Although I could also see why it should have been allowed to continue. But hey, that's neither here nor there at this point. What's done is done. The result is not going to change. Either way, a good win for Dan Henderson. A bad loss for Fedor. I think more than anything, this loss for Fedor is on him almost as much as it was the Verdum loss. He got overeager. He made a mistake. He overestimated how badly his opponent was hurt, and it ended up costing him the win. So, do I think he needs to retire? Do I think he's shot? I don't think he's shot, but I do think that his best days are behind him. I just don't know if his game has evolved. Other fighters have become more well-rounded. I don't know if his game has evolved along with the sport, and I think that's something that you need to do, and I don't think he's done it. And I just think that things he may have made mistakes on in the past, other fighters that study games, that study tape more, that have coaches, they're able to strategize against his weaknesses or see opportunities where he presents he presents opportunities to be exploited. I think fighters have picked up on that. So I do think he's likely to retire, though. 3 in a row, he's just not the kind of guy that he doesn't come across as the kind of guy that really is going to try to prove people wrong, that he's not shot, that he's not done. Like certain fighters have, like a Chuck Liddell, for example. So I would not be surprised if he retired. If he does, he had a great career. As for Hendo, I don't know what's next for him, man. Strikeforce definitely going to give him a contract paying him as much as his previous one did. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to the UFC. I could see him competing at the light heavyweight division there, but we'll just have to see how it goes because he's not going to get the kind of money he was making previously. So we'll have to see what goes on with him. It's going to definitely be a long negotiation process, I think, for his next contract. Anyways, that's it for now. Want to hear your guys' thoughts. Also, Dana White tweeting stuff about just negative shit about Fedor. Man, fuck with all that, man. It's like Fedor is a great fighter. Fedor never proclaimed to be the best. He never put himself on this pedestal that fans do. I don't know why Dana constantly feels the need to tear this guy down or tear him apart. Especially considering he's now an employee of his. You know, he's an employee of yours, and basically, you know, by being a part of Zuffa, and you're still tearing him down. It's just unnecessary, and fans that, you know, jump on Dana's bandwagon in regards to that stuff, lame. You know, it's just retarded. It's just a bunch of sheep. Anyways, if you disagree with me, go ahead and let it be known. But that's it for now. We'll be talking about this more on Science Match Radio Show coming up soon. Or if you're not watching this at the time, catch it on demand or podcast. Link in there for each part of the video as usual, as well as link to my Twitter and link to sciencefights.com. That's it for now. I want to get his thoughts on the fights, mostly the main event. If you thought the stoppage was too early, if you thought it was just, what do you think's next for both guys? What would you like to see next for both? And any other thoughts? Till next time.